Hey guys, Barry at CTech-review. We're gonna do what I think is the first mod you should do to your 2025 1500 RHO. We already addressed this in a video a few weeks back, but this is an even better version. Let's get into this. So if you plan on using this truck off-road at all, nasty weather, inclement weather, live on a dirt road, two-tracking, the first thing you need to address is protecting the paint on this thing. There's a few ways to go about this. We're gonna be doing some PPF on this truck, but before we get to that, the next two ways to protecting the paint, mud flaps. Lots of good versions out there. We did the first video on the Rokblokz standard original version. This is a little different version. This is the XL version. I wanted to try this because I want to specifically see the difference in coverage, because we are adamantly concerned about trying to protect these rocker panels, because Jeep or Ram in their infinite wisdom decided to use the color that shows scratches the most in the rocker panels of a truck used off-road. It's silly, they did it, it looks great, but now I have to figure out how to make this truck look decent. Nothing crazy, guys, real simple, but I specifically wanted to see the difference between the Rokblokz XL version and the standard version. You can see we got more coverage down the sides here, goes down lower. I'll show the installation and the coverage area difference between the two, but you can see it on the truck now. We just washed the truck after installing, so the whole goal now is I'm curious to see how much better the splash protection down the rocker panels. I can't express this enough of how careful you need to be with the RHO rocker panel area. Being black, it shows scratches really easily. We already got a little rock rash back here. I'm super bummed about this. See a little rock ding right here. And guys, I had mud flaps on this truck within 800 miles. And I'm careful, I don't drive fast. This truck's not been off-road. We live on a dirt road, but still I haven't been crazy. So we have that. And you can kind of see these, I'm running the standard rears, so you can kind of see the difference in profile. So here's the profile here versus look how much it sticks out on the side on the front. I didn't need more protection on the rear. I thought that's fine. That's not a big concern. I'm really just trying to protect the front of the truck. They look super big when you look from right here, but for wintertime use, off-road use, I don't care. I'll take them off when summertime comes. Okay, truck's super dirty right now. We're about to do a long road trip, and you can kind of see we're getting good rocker protection out to around just shy of where the R is at underneath the Ram. Really curious, once we go to the XL Rokblokz, how much more protection we get. So, purposes video, I couldn't find anything out there really showing back-to-back standard Rokblokz versus the XL version. This is the XL version underneath this. And look at how much bigger it is. So if we line this thing up at the top, all right, it's lined up perfectly. You got about, I'd say, an extra inch along the sides and about maybe an inch and a quarter down below. So I'm really curious that extra coverage, number one, it will help with bigger, wider offset tires. But I'm curious, do we move this splash back at all? Just more protection. You know, we're gonna be doing off-road and this thing sees some inclement weather. So I want as much protection on the rocker panels as well as more protection hitting back in the rear suspension area. So this is super easy install, but I just really wanted to kind of show you how much more coverage you get here. So let me put these on real quick. But you can kind of see how much more it sticks out. Is it bigger? Yes. Will I run them all year? Probably not. I'm probably only gonna run the bigger ones for wintertime and off-road just to give extra protection. Just for perspective, let's see, about right there, about 3/4 of an inch out past there. If we go to this line right here, straight out, we're about 3.5 inches. Now let's go to the bottom, about 7 3/4. You can see it's a big difference. You got about, I'd say about 1/2 inch up there versus 3/4. We come down here, it was 3.5 inches. It's 2 3/4. This was actually bigger than I thought on the bottom. That's almost 1 3/4 inches further down on the side. This is definitely a much more low profile, up a little higher. So I think this will be better for most of the standard season. But just one more look again. Here we go. I'm gonna take a picture here. So if you're in the market and trying to figure out which Rokblokz setup to go with, I highly recommend this product, as I mentioned before, because I've used it off-road. It's durable, it holds up, made in America, good solid company. But here's your difference. You can see on the left side is the XL, on the right side is the original. Definitely get more coverage, but it also, if you're not into the look, I totally get it. If you're riding bigger tires, wider offset, this might be your solution. I'll put a link down below if you are interested in buying the Rokblokz mud flaps for the TRX or the RHO. In these pictures, this truck is a TRX, obviously, but these are the standard version. And you've got a lot of different colors. I talked about this in the last video. So you can get these in black, red, blue, green, yellow, olive drab, gray. Plus you can change the colors of logos. And then it's a little bit more expensive. You can see it's only 10 bucks more if you want the XL size. But yeah, all these pictures kind of see what they got. Now it's kind of funny is originally they told me they didn't have, actually they said they didn't have a picture of the XL size, but I can tell looking at these photos now, this is the XL size and this is the standard size because I can see how much more aggressive it is. So they actually must have updated the website, and they probably did because I reached out to them and let them know. And now it does include the RHO information down below. So hope this helps. Look at that beauty, guys. All right, I want to show you guys how well these Rokblokz XLs are working. Look at the spray back on the rocker panels. Before, I was getting right about here. It's about, I'd say another foot further, but it's still not heavy. But you can tell the beating that rear fender is taking. So these things definitely work better than the standard ones. And you can see it even more when we jump to this side. These rocker panels are really clean. So the running boards, I think, will pretty much protect that back area. So these big XL front mud flaps, I have to say, pretty impressive with them from a coverage perspective. A lot of people probably think they look pretty ugly because they're huge. I won't disagree. They are huge, but dang it, they work. And you can just tell, looking at this rocker panel, our standard Rokblokz, we'd start seeing spray about right here. Whereas the XL is about 18 inches further back. So imagine if we had the running boards on this truck, we'd see substantially less spray on the side of the body. And it's gonna be fun once we get our steps on the side, how much less we see on the side of this truck. So if you live in northern climates or you go off-road and you want ultimate body side protection, I think these Rokblokz XLs are gonna give you the best protection available of the different options out there because they're just massive. They cover a lot of real estate. I haven't seen a mud flap that offers better protection than this at this time. I don't think I'm gonna run them all year, probably just wintertime or just nasty conditions. But if we're doing off-road events, 100%, I'm gonna be running these things just to protect the sides of the body. Next step on this thing is some running boards and then start looking at tuning and what else we can do. Definitely recommend getting mud flaps, at least on the front of this thing. And I also recommend some running boards to protect those rocker panels. You could also do PPF. I don't think that's a bad idea. I've seen other people doing like a Line-X or a bed liner down the side if you want. That's also an option. But I do think if you just do some sort of decent running board and a decent mud flap up front, that's gonna protect the rash down the side and the rocker panels. Hey, curious guys, what mods would you like to see me do on this thing? Really curious. Leave some comments down below. Thanks for watching.